Hello, friends. My name is Nayaswami Anandi here at Ananda Village. This week has been a very intense week of racial tensions erupting in this country. And I think those of us who are devotees are thinking, what can we do to be of service, to help bring healing, to help bring peace, not just peace on an outer level, but peace into people's hearts, into transformation of feeling inside of people everywhere. And of course, sending light and prayer is something that we have been doing consistently, and we encourage you to join our Warriors of Light meditations every Thursday morning. This past Thursday, June 4th, Jyotish and Devi, Nayaswamis from Ananda, led a very, very helpful approach to the particular challenges that have happened this week, and I encourage you to look for that on ananda.org. But I thought this morning that I would talk in a complementary way, not to repeat what they said or what they offered, but to add something else. St. Francis is very, very beloved of our path. Yogananda called him his patron saint. Not everyone knows this aspect of St. Francis's life. His love for God was so tremendous, and he saw that aspect of God in every single person, in every single particle of creation, and he loved everything so much that when people listened to him, their lives they wanted to live in harmony, they wanted to live in love. And what ended up happening is that St. Francis actually transformed the civilization of the Middle Ages through the disintegration of the feudal system. What happened was he had attracted so many people to his message of love that people who couldn't join his monasteries asked about a third order. And he created a lay order for people from everywhere. Now, at that time, Europe was in war a lot because feudal kings would send their vassals to fight one another. Well, these vassals began to join the third order of St. Francis, and they so deeply committed themselves to living in love and to living by the rule of the order of Francis, which forbade fighting, that they refused to fight. And even though they were tortured, even though they were pressured in many, many ways, they would not renounce that vow of love. And through that, the feudal lords lost all their power, and the whole system fell apart because of that one man filled with love. What does that have to do with us? What can we do? Mother Teresa gave a commencement speech at Harvard University in 1982. And she gave a very, I think, unexpected message to those very blessed graduates of that university. She didn't ask them to go to India and join her order. She said, look around your family, look around your neighborhood. Look for people that no one likes. Look for people that you don't like, and begin to treat them with love and respect. And so that quality of unity, of love, bringing unity, is what overcomes separation. The Gita says that separation is the source of all misery. Separation from other people in so many ways. Separation from ourselves and God. Yoga means union. Union not only with God, but union with God in all of creation. And I wanted to share a quite unusual story that happened to me earlier this year that might spark some thought for you, because there are always people that there's a little bit of friction with, perhaps. Maybe you're just shy. That's also a form of separation. Maybe you're unnecessarily fearful. That's a source of separation. So here, take this story and see if you could make it work in your situation. At our house, for the last 3 years, we've had a flicker hammering on the side of the roof. And the flickers are a very large woodpecker, about yay big. They're very robust-looking birds with a very big beak. And when they hammer on your house, you can sort of picture like wood chips flying away from their head. And it's a sort of an alarming sound. And I really was concerned that maybe the roof was going to fall in. So at 2 different points, we hired a carpenter who came and put barriers so that the flickers couldn't get at the house. And both times, I could hear the flicker out there pulling away what the carpenter had put in place and then beginning to hammer at the house again. It happened twice. At one point in these past 3 years, we had a hose that we kept out by the back of the house. And when we'd hear the sound, we'd go running out and shoot the hose up, and the flicker would fly away, but then the next day, he would be back. So earlier this year, I was meditating in our house, and there was the flicker, very, very loud. But I was meditating, and so something came to me that was different than my usual approach. And it was the remembrance that I had read that when there are animals who have a destructive behavior and you try to fight them, it just motivates them to come back more and more. But that if you love them, it often ends the relationship. So as I sat there, I prayed to Yogananda, my guru, and I asked him to enfold me and the woodpecker in his love. For myself, I completely put aside all my feelings about woodpeckers and about flickers and why I wanted them not to be there. And I focused on this love coming from the guru to both of us. And I noticed that the pecking stopped. So the next day, it started up again, and I immediately asked the master to enfold us both in love, and the pecking lasted a little bit less, and it stopped. Then for a couple of days, I could hear the flickers and woodpeckers out in the backyard kind of rustling around. So just, among themselves, having their morning conversation or whatever. So I just, before they even started, I just enfolded them in that love. And then a couple of times during the week, I'd hear like a couple of half-hearted, peck, 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 peck. And I'd ask Master to send this love around the woodpecker. And by the end of the week, there was no more pecking. Now, I found that to be quite inspiring and quite useful. And I thought, just in the moments we have before we close with a reading from Yogananda, I'd like to invite you to just bring to mind someone, someone that perhaps you feel some little bit of friction with. It could be simple, could be shyness, as I said. It could just be something that's not quite right. And just feel the blessings of the Master, his love. Doesn't have to be your love, it's his love going out to that being, that person, and enfolding you both in love. And just hold that for just a moment or two. I'd like to close by reading to you one of Master's prayers, one of Yogananda's prayers from Whispers from Eternity, one of his prayers for universality. Teach us, Father, to melt the fancy frozen boundaries of family, society, and national identity with the warmth of our love and understanding. Bless us, O wise Father, that we may live in a United States of the world with Thee as our President, elected for eternity by the free choice of all good citizen qualities of our hearts, ruling ourselves through our own self-clarifying discrimination. Teach us to enrich our souls, our abundance, and our understanding by broadening the circle of our patriotism to include all Earth's inhabitants of every caste, creed, position in society, and color. O Cosmic President, bless us that we obey thy laws of life and respect with kindly hearts the freedom of all thy children. Om. Blessings to us all.